Welcome, disgruntled. Probably should take off these glasses. I can't really see with them on. They're ridiculous anyway. Um, Sorry I haven't posted in like 2 months. It's been almost 2 months. A couple of days shy. You know what? It hasn't just been any Eagles news lately, but I've compiled everything that's happened in the last 2 months that has happened to the Eagles. So let's start with the big one, the Carson Wentz contract. Honestly, Howie Roseman has finessed us once again. His genius ways are on the move once again. Now, I was so confused on why we were giving him a big max contract when we can have a 5th year option on him. Or, I mean, he's still available for that 5th year option. And I was thinking, why give him a contract when you can save some money and wait an extra year? Because we still have that rookie contract on him. But then I dived a little bit deeper into it, and Howie Roseman is a freaking genius. He gave him this contract because of how injury prone he is. Carson Wentz is going to take it either way because of his injuries in the past. Because it's unlikely that he's going to even stay healthy for another full year, or heck, in the near future, 2 or 3 years from now. It's going to be very unlikely that he's going to stay fully healthy. So what Howie Roseman thinking is that if he asked for this max contract, then Carson Wentz is not going to deny it because of how injury he is. It's just rolling the dice. If he waits another year, then that's another year that Carson Wentz could get injured. And it just wouldn't be worth it if he got injured again and give him another max contract. So what Howie Roseman is thinking is sign him now, and in the future it actually saves money because of Patrick Mahomes. When he gets signed, he's likely to get like a $200 million contract rather than just a $130 million contract. I know $130 is still a crap ton of money, but a $70 million difference, I mean, I would take that any day. So it's just Howie Roseman thinking is that it's just going to up the price a couple of years from now to give him that max contract. It's just going to go up higher. And Carson Wentz is going to take this lower amount contract because he doesn't want to roll the dice of getting injured and then maybe getting cut in a year or two from now, which most likely wouldn't happen at all. We would probably still keep him because, he's a freaking MVP caliber type of quarterback. But there's still that possibility if he, I don't know, tears another ACL, which I know. I don't want to jinx it. He's looking healthy. He's looking good in the OTAs with Deshaun Jackson. He's moving around. He's been saying it last year or the past couple of years now that he's been looking good. He's been ready for football game pace play past couple of years now in the OTAs. But, it's a year off of a torn ACL and it's a few months off of back injury. But he's looking very good. And his connections with Deshaun Jackson are looking flawless. Now let's get to Deshaun Jackson. He's looking pretty good. He's still a huge threat. And I'm so glad that we signed him. I know I talked briefly a video or two ago. I can't remember when I talked about him last, but he's looking very good. He still has that speed that he had when he was in his younger years of playing football, which I'm really excited to see. And he's still getting those deep bomb threats. I mean, that speed to catch up and go get that deep bomb. And he's just excellent. So that's looking good. The chemistry between them are looking very good. And the rest of the team, it's looking pretty solid. That's basically the basis of this video, was talking about the Carson Wentz contract. Honestly, I didn't like it to begin with because I thought that we could save a little bit more money. But then when I actually sat down and thought about it a little bit more, it's pretty genius move to sign him now. But you know what? $130 million, $30 million a year, that's a crap ton of money. I honestly really like that we signed him now. But I mean, he's one of the highest paid quarterbacks now. And what I didn't touch on was that it pressures the Cowboys to pay Dak Prescott more. You've probably heard it a bunch, seen memes, people making fun of it all over the internet about Dak Prescott getting this huge mega contract. And it's not worth it. Honestly, if I were the Cowboys, I wouldn't sign him to a big mega contract. I mean, he's he kind of proved himself, I guess. He has the same stats as Carson Wentz, or not the same, but like up there with Carson Wentz. He has more wins than Carson Wentz. His stats are equally good as Carson Wentz, but obviously Carson Wentz is a crap ton better because he's just that MVP caliber quarterback, and Dak Prescott is simply not. This contract that the Eagles signed pressures the Cowboys to sign Dak Prescott, and it's going to be freaking hilarious how much Dak Prescott is going to get, and he's not worth it at all. I mean, like, he's only won one playoff game. I mean, I guess Carson Wentz hasn't won in any playoff games of yet. I mean, he's going to win 3 this year, so with that playoff bye that we're going to get. But, I mean, Dak Prescott is definitely not worth a $130, $140 million contract, but it definitely pressures the Cowboys to sign him and waste a crap ton of money, even when they still have to sign Zeke and Amari Cooper. And also, Jason Witten comes out of retirement. Wait, did I talk about that? I don't know if I talked about that, but Jason Witten freaking comes out of retirement. That's pretty funny. I don't know. He's just old, coming out of the broadcast booth. Witten, what are you doing, man? Just stay in the broadcast booth. All right, I'm going to touch on a little bit about Malcolm Jenkins. He's wanting more money, and he deserves all of it. He believes that he's played up to his ability to get more money, and I think so too. I mean, he's getting older, on the older side of playing football, but I mean, it doesn't look like he's slowing down at all, and he hasn't missed many games either. So maybe just sign him to like a 3-year, maybe, I don't know how much you would pay him, $40 million contract. I know that we just put bank into Carson, but I mean, Malcolm Jenkins has lived up to last contract boost. Give him some money. He deserves it. He should be paid. But basically he's just saying that I lived up to a new contract and wanting more money, and I think he deserves more money. He's been playing really well with us, and yeah. Not much to talk about the training camp so far, but the date has been set that the Eagles training camp will start July 24th, and we will practice with the Ravens. Not much news, but that's a little update for the training camp this upcoming month. We got Cody Kessler from the Jaguars. Now, with the Carson Wentz trade that we did with the Browns when we traded up to get the second-round pick, the Browns it was very complicated with all the draft picks that moved around, with the Browns getting picks from the 2018 and 2019 draft and 2016, 2017 draft. All of the draft picks that were organized and stuff, that could be an entire video on its own. But I'm not going to go too much in depth to that because you probably already know it. The Browns had some picks. Or, I mean, that's officially over with the Carson Wentz trade. All the draft picks that they had from that trade was in 2019, so it's officially ended. The trade between Carson Wentz and the Browns, all the draft picks have been picked. But one of the picks that the Browns picked, and I think it was the 2017 draft. It was either the 2017 draft or the 2018 draft. They actually picked Cody Kessler, so, I mean, I guess it came full circle to the draft picks that we gave them. But, I mean, Cody Kessler is a half-decent backup quarterback. He's definitely not a starting quarterback, but he's definitely not going to replace Nick Foles. But he's a decent quarterback for a backup. I mean, he's been playing for the past 2 to 3 years, and he's a decent quarterback. And I'm glad that we have him as a backup because he's a sturdy backup quarterback. Also with Nate Sudfeld, they're decent backup quarterbacks, and they're going to back up Carson Wentz if he ever gets injured. I certainly hope that he never gets injured again. I honestly don't think he will in the next 5, 10 years. 10 years, he's not going to get injured. And when he does, it's just going to be a little slip-up. But I feel like I'm feeling really confident that Carson Wentz is not going to get injured, and we're not going to be able to use Cody Kessler because it's a bad thing if we use a backup, because that means that Carson Wentz is injured. But I don't think that's going to happen. I feel like he's going to have a strong MVP caliber year again, and we're going to go to the Super Bowl, obviously. We signed Stefan Rzuski to a 1-year contract. He's an offensive lineman that we had for the past couple of years. I mean, he's a decent offensive lineman. We also signed Blake Countess. He's a safety that we picked up in the 2016 draft. He didn't really play well with us when we had him, so the Rams picked him up for a year or two, and then we picked them up again. So it was coming full circle again with that. We didn't really do anything in the free agency the last time we talked except for Cody Kessler and Blake Countess. The last thing I want to talk about is the Eagles' schedule, and I'm going to put the record that I think we're going to go this year. Alright, so this is going to be the last thing that I go over in this video. So basically, I'm just going to go game by game and tell you guys whether I think the Eagles are going to win or lose. Now, I'm going to go more in depth into the season, like I did last year, on each individual game, like a preview, because I'm not going to preview each game because I don't know how the Eagles are going to be set week. Like week 8, they could be 7-0 going into week 8 and or 0-7. So my opinion will change during how they will do that week. So I'm just going to say whether or not they are going to win or lose and not go much into depth into it. So I'm going to have like a little tracker like right here or whatever, maybe like over here, wherever I decide to put it, of wins and losses. Eagles are going to beat the Redskins. Eagles are going to beat the Falcons. Eagles are going to beat the Lions. Eagles are going to lose to the Packers. Eagles are going to win to the Jets. Eagles are going to win against the Vikings. Eagles are going to beat the Cowboys. Eagles are going to beat the Bills. Eagles are going to lose to the Bears. Eagles are going to beat the Patriots. Eagles are going to lose against the Seahawks. Eagles are going to beat the Dolphins. Eagles are going to beat the Giants. Eagles are going to beat the Redskins. Eagles are going to lose to the Cowboys and then win against the Giants. So I think that puts us at 12-4. I think that's good enough for a first-round bye and an easy coast to the Super Bowl. So that's it for this video, and thanks for watching. 12-4, here we come, baby.